You've had like a very long and famous career doing this stuff, and it's really impressive. One thing that I am kind of weirdly impressed by, because this is one thing that I find that people really struggle to do, is that you have mainly is it correct in saying you have a Japanese audience mainly?
Yeah.
But you also have an English following.
Yeah.
And it's normally really hard for creators to balance two different languages.
Yeah.
In fact, because like a lot of the platforms just don't want you to speak both languages.
Yeah.
Because they want to know, okay, you speak English, we're recommending you to English speakers. You speak Japanese, only Japanese speakers are getting it.
Yeah.
How do you find balancing that? Like, because, it's way beyond my ability.
I'm figuring it out,
Yeah.
to be honest. Like for the Japanese viewers, they don't like me speaking mostly in English because obviously they won't understand.
Yeah.
And but mostly my viewers are mostly Japanese, and I mostly do the streams in Japanese. So, but
sorry, what gave you the idea to try and branch out to a more international audience? That's what I'm curious about. Or was it just you had a language skill set and you just wanted to flex it, kind of?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Let's.
I guess it's like if you...
Or is it dumb luck?
or you just like, I'm just going to give it a go, see if it works kind of thing.
You just wing it?
I'm like that. I'm like, yeah, let's try it. And if it works out, good. I'm that kind of person.
And there you
I
go,
don't
it worked out.
think and like
She's just
strategize. I just do it.
do it.
Yeah.
Just a genius. What can I say, right?
It's just five head.
Yeah, I'm just a genius delinquent. Yeah, you can say that.
I'm envious
Thank
of you. Being able to speak great Japanese and English. Jerry's also.
Yeah, but
smart.
the thing is, I haven't been able to diversify my audience as much as Kson has, I feel.
Have you tried to like capture a Japanese audience at all? And are you even interested in that?
I'm personally just not really interested in it.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, I don't know, it's just because I feel it's just so different in terms of like content and stuff like that. Like if it's kind of like, like what Kson does where it's like whole variety stuff, right? Like where you can just basically do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Then it's a little bit easier to try and branch out, right? But I don't know, it's also a lot of effort to do both. You know what I mean?
I don't know if this is correct, right? I could be completely wrong. I've heard some stories about people who have audiences both. Like some YouTubers, they subtitle their stuff in Japanese, and they have quite a decent Japanese following. The main thing I've been told is that Japanese people have no chill online. That's the one thing. The one criticism that I've heard a lot.
It's scary.
At least that's from an English perspective.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is it like having the two different types of audiences? Do you notice a difference between them both, like distinctly, other than the language?
Other than the language, well, I don't know. Japanese people, like, it's just from my perspective, okay?
Right,
Of course. It's all opinion. It's all opinion.
It's all your opinion.
I just said they had no chill. I think I'm in trouble, probably.
Japanese people mostly don't want to see my 3D high polygon stuff.
Right.
It's not like they don't love me as in that style. It's like they could, I don't know, relate more to the anime figure. I don't know. That's the part I don't understand much about.
Yeah.
Because you're the same person, right?
Yeah, we're the same person.
It's just one's 2D and one's a 3D polygon.
You're not playing a character or anything like at all, are you?
Well, I am a delinquent.
She is a delinquent.
She is a delinquent.
I'm not playing a character. I'm just delinquent.
Yeah.
I was born delinquent. And what was I talking about?
I guess though it kind of makes sense, right? Because otherwise, if the Japanese audience didn't have this like infatuation with these 2D streamers, then VTubing wouldn't really be a thing in the first place. I feel
it's weird.
Like that infatuation had to come from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And like Japan is already like, especially Japan's like otaku culture is already so obsessed with like the whole 2D thing.
I mean,
So it's like,
I got the Western brain. So I don't know. That sounds like a disease.
I
I got Western brain.
You got
I got Western brain. I'm trying to I'm trying to wrap my head around it as to give possible reasons.
It's such a strange concept because like my parents like have don't understand the whole VTubing thing at all. But they're always so curious, being like, why is it that people like this, and it's so hard to explain to them why. It's like
they'll never understand.
Right.
It's like that too.
But even but like even if I like, you know, brought up the whole debate of like, you know, Japanese people love 2D shit, and when you put a real person into it, then it becomes more interactive. It's they'll be like, why not just show the real face? And I'm like, valid argument, parents. But that's not how it works.
I mean, work like that.
Yeah. My parents don't understand anime, period. So trying to explain VTubers to them is just like a whole nother level.
It's like anime, but real.
My parents haven't asked me yet, luckily.
Really?
I had this the other day when I went back home to England, and I had to explain to like my family members like what VTubers was, right?
Yeah.
And there was just like so many levels I had to explain to even like come close to like introducing the idea of VTubers, right? Because they didn't know how streamers made money. They didn't know what YouTubers were. So I needed to like basically explain the internet before I could even like start explaining what VTubers are.
Man, Iron Mouse told me a really fucking funny story that her mum is like, doesn't understand it either.
Right.
Yeah.
And because Mouse is like really sick and you know can't leave her house and can't do anything really, and her mom thought that everyone who was a VTuber was also in the same
sick.
was sick, and there's just something so wholesome about that I thought, I don't know why that just like warmed my heart in a weird way. Where your mom was like, "Is everyone the same?" And it's like, "No, mom, but thanks for asking."
It's a nice sentence.
Yeah, that was really.
How did you explain to your parents when you started getting into VTubing?
I didn't explain to them.
Well, what did you tell them then?
They know now, right?
Yeah, they know now, but they will never understand because so I just didn't. And my daddy still doesn't understand anything about what I do. I think.
Does he keep asking you to get like a normal job?
No, he didn't do
that's
that.
good.
But he like, what the fuck is like VTubing and why does everyone pay money to you? Stupid.
A solid argument. See, they're on step 2 of parent. Step one is the period where they're like, you should go get a real job.
Yeah.
And then step 2 is where they've just given up on that and they just start to question what you do.
Yeah.
Because like I remember when I first quit to do YouTube and Patreon was like my main form of revenue.
My parents, oh my god.
Yeah, and then I had to explain to my parents what Patreon was and why that was basically my monthly salary.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, so just people pay me to be me and do things that I did already. And they're like, no, but what are they paying you for? And I'm like, to be me. And they're like, no. But what are you selling to them? Like, I'm not selling them anything.
To be fair, I feel like you're explaining it pretty badly.
Yeah.
You're just like, just existing. Yeah, it's like welfare, really, but just specific for me.
I mean, isn't that just what YouTube ad revenue is?
Welfare for YouTube.
Yeah, welfare for YouTube.
A bit too generous, I think, the welfare is. Oh my god. Very generous welfare. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.